From Mediaite, quote, "We are not kidding. CNN's Dana Bash roasts Trump for slapping tariffs on an Arctic island inhabited solely by penguins." Let me play this video for you. There you go. It's always crashing. Listen to this.
No one is safe from President Trump's new tariffs, not even penguins. A remote island near Antarctica that is home to mainly penguins, no humans, is now subject to a 10% American tariff. This is not a joke. We are not kidding. These penguins, who do not trade goods or services with the United States, as far as we know, are on the receiving end of a new tax. My panel is back. Let's just get some of the headlines up about that.
That's a non-tariff trade barrier.
Okay, well, that's true. I mean, it's not going to...
They are currency manipulators par excellence.
I'm going to say it right now. You are cognitively deficient if you believe anything they're saying. At least Newsweek is willing to break it down for us. The islands were included because they are Australian territory, citing a White House official. And they also mention the tariffs are part of a new plan, blah, blah, blah. Well, here's the headline. Donald Trump puts tariffs on islands inhabited only by penguins. I don't like the headline. However, when they go in to the story, they actually point out, guess what? There are fisheries. World Bank data shows that in 2022, the U.S. imported $1.4 million worth of goods from Heard Island and McDonald Islands, mostly classified as machinery and electrical products. Despite the fact the island has no buildings or people, however, it does have a fishery. It is unclear what the imported products were. In the previous 5 years, imports ranged from $15,000 to $325,000. So let's start with perhaps the people at CNN are just developmentally disabled. And they're like, there's no people there. They're tariffing penguins. Or perhaps they're intentionally lying to you so you think Trump is a buffoon. But in reality, the Trump administration said, we don't care where you're selling the products from. These are islands and territories that have transferred products and machines to the United States. You get a tariff too.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the situation is about the tariffs to the penguins of the Penguin Island. I only heard the I guess the headlines or whatever. But if it's about fisheries, then I don't see why
CNN's lying.
Well, no, I mean, we know
and laughing, and they literally said, "We are not joking. Trump is tariffing an island inhabited by penguins," and it's like,
so the fisheries off the coast.
It's Australian territory, and people work there.
I'm going to say what I said earlier, which is that there is plenty of substantive stuff they could be talking about to educate the American population about tariffs. This is a hyperbolic, inflated headline that is designed to create division and distract from actual topics that are relevant to the working class of America. They could talk about substantive tariff issues if they wanted to. They're just seeking clicks, and that's what this is. And I think it's silly.
I mean, of course it's silly, but I think that, I mean, I feel like it's just more of the same, you know. It's more of the same, just slander of the administration.
I can't believe we're 10 years in and they're still doing it. It's just remarkable to me. The man won the popular vote, and CNN is still playing this game. Their ratings couldn't get lower. In fact, the people who watch CNN are probably forced to do it like Clockwork Orange.
It's not just
My
CNN, though.
show has higher ratings than all of the CNN evening shows.
Of course.
And I'm a nobody.
But it's not just CNN. It's the entirety of the Democrat establishment. They all are doing all of the same things, whether it be, Donald Trump is there's this one Democrat operative that's making the exact same comments about people on the right. She's been making them forever. She said that something that Jeremy from the Quartering said. She said that, that now they're doing full-on National Socialism, which is just a rehash of their Nazis. I mean, obviously. And it wasn't like Jeremy said something like, you don't need the new iPhone, you don't need the new this. And he was basically talking about being something that was kind of anti-consumerism. And it's all the same stuff. It's all the same garbage. And I think that it goes back to the fact that the left doesn't have, they're in disarray. The Democrats and the left, they have no coherent message because they have no leadership and because the people have rejected what they're offering, and Donald Trump has taken the working class from them.
Well, Elaad, now that you're best friends with these people, I mean, what do you have to say for yourself? You're hanging out with them in the White House all day. What do you mean?
Yeah, what's up with that?
Yeah, what's going on?
You put in a good word for me. I've been applying for the new media seat every week for the last month.
You might have to drop the RFK slander. I'm sorry, where were we?
RFK loves my show.
I was asking in all seriousness. You were in the White House. Were you in there? Were you there
I was there today. Yeah.
And so you're actually surrounded by a lot of these people. Would you describe them as smarmy or just evil?
Smarmy. They have a monopoly. The White House Correspondents Association, they used to have a monopoly on coverage, and you could tell that all of them are on the same page. Whatever the front page news is of the day is what you can expect the whole front row of people to be asking and constantly berating Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt with. Despite her answering the question, they'll ask her the same thing 4 different ways and kind of just waste her time, frustrate her until somebody else can get hit in with another topic. So
What's the point of the briefing?
It's so Caitlin Collins could look like a movie star on CNN, like they're fighting, so they could have one shot of Caitlin Collins, and then it's like she's arguing back and forth, fighting fascism against Caroline Leavitt. That's the idea. It's like a TV drama.
I would,
with the way CNN sets up the cameras too, and then if you watch how they signal it out, it's.
I would love that job, press secretary.
I'm envious of Caroline Leavitt, but she does a great job.
There would never be a real answer from that podium while I was working that job. The journalists would be like,
they don't deserve
Press Secretary Poole, there's this report that Donald Trump is saying he thinks the market will be fine despite this global sell-off. Does the administration plan to accept this drop in the market? And then I would be like, okay. And then I drew a picture of a cat. There you go. You can have it. I signed it for you. That's all they'd get. And I'd also order DoorDash. And I'd be like, No, don't ask the question. What do you want from Chipotle? Would you like the carnitas or the sofritas? Because you look like a vegan.
Yeah. Well, the White House is actually addressing this because there have been reports that they're planning on tossing out the official White House seating arrangement in the press briefing room. They're already changing up who is allowed on White House grounds to be a journalist and cover it. The White House Correspondents Association used to have a monopoly on it, and now they're actually very shook about what the future of their association looks like. Eugene Daniels is a guy from Politico and the current president of the White House Correspondents Association. And it looks like under his watch, we're actually going to see this deteriorate and them become a completely irrelevant association.
Can Caroline Leavitt choose who gets to sit in front of her? Can she kick somebody out?
The White House Correspondents Association has no actual power that wasn't granted to them by the White House. The White House actually has all of the power and what they says go. The White House Correspondents Association only has power based on tradition from...
Can Caroline Leavitt be like, you out?
Absolutely. She could make the seating chart. The White House Correspondents Association only has a seating chart
I was
because
press secretary.
they allow them to.
It'd just be a party. And what I would do is I would want are there any windows to the outside?
Yes.
I want them all to look in the window while we have like disco lights, music, and we'd have like catering, and we'd just be and they're not welcome in. That's I am kidding, but I want people to understand.
Hear their threat when they say you won't let them
my
back?
point is, what I'm describing is how they view it. So when I'm saying we'd lock them out and have a party, this is what the White House Correspondents Association had been doing the whole time. Only they were allowed in, and everyone else had to look through the window and watch them have their party.
There's been reporting now that if they are stripped of their seating chart, they plan to have a sit-in. So they actually plan to take coverage away from independent journalists and different people in the room if they are disallowed. So if they change the seating chart, they want to actually take my ability to cover the White House from me. Based on...
Did you apply through the Correspondents Association to get your seat?
I did not apply.
Okay, so I have applied through the White House Correspondents Association. I have tried 3 times.
Would you meet...
They're not going to give you access.
I don't think
they said I had to try because I've been invited to CPAC and I've been invited...
Wait, the White House said you had to?
So when I sent my email to the press office and I wanted to go to the RNC, the DNC, I wanted to go to all of the national conventions this year, I was directed to the White House Correspondents Association, and they said that you have to apply here. So I did. I applied. I sent in my metrics. I sent in 60 articles that I've given quotes in. I sent in examples of my op-eds that I've had published. And if I didn't have a credential from one of their current publications, I was not allowed to be considered. And I could not provide them a credential that I had a full-time job with one of theirs because I was freelancing for all of these places and I had my TikTok show. And I was like, listen, I'm getting, 250,000 views. I'm interviewing all these presidential candidates. I'd really like to be, I'll pay my dues. Let's go. And they're like, absolutely not. Get out.
They exist to protect one another and the powerful interests of their...
Why don't they just kick them out?
It's kind of that simple.
Why don't they kick them out?
Because CNN, MSNBC, New York Times, they do actually provide coverage of the White House.
It's lies. I mean, look, we just showed they lied about Penguin Island.
Even Fox defends them because they're members.
Sure, no, but because they get access. That's why they defend them. They protect each other because they all allow each other to get access and keep people like us out, by the way.
It's Peter Doocy, right?
Yes.
In the White House? Because he's got his dad. I always mix their names up.
Yep.
He actually asks challenging questions of Carolyn Levitt.
Yeah.
He's
sometimes,
for sure.
Sometimes it's funny.
But I don't understand why they don't just say, everybody out.
Because it would be an attack on the freedom of the press, the First Amendment in our country, and then Trump is a fascist and fascism is coming back. That's what they'd say.
They already say it.
They're going to say that no matter
They're saying it literally right now.
Hey, you should meet with President Trump and pitch him that. I hear he's meeting with people. And
Trump, let me stand at that podium and one by one say, sir, your name? Jim Smith, get out.
There are members of the new media that are getting substantially higher views than standard evening news broadcasts.
Sure.
Substantially higher.
I will say this isn't purely
why
about
are they not
numbers,
welcome?
I want James O'Keefe to moonwalk in front of that podium while he kicks these people out and says, fake press gotta go.
I love James.
He's great. I just want him to moonwalk while he does it.
Have you ever been to one of his parties he's DJing?
Yes.
He's a great DJ. He's actually really good.
Yeah.
He gave me a whole lesson a couple weeks ago at a party. He let me stand back there with the headphones and learn how to do things. It was so much fun.
Nice.
It was so much fun.
He's a very kind man.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.